Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you guys? Please bear with me while I get the rest of my materials together here and we give a little time for people to come in. If you wouldn't mind, hit that like button so it'll bump me up on YouTube. I'd appreciate it. Is everybody able to hear me okay? All right, guys. Gonna give it a minute here. We just started and StreamYard is being a pain. My last live, they completely lost my scheduled live, right? This time, it just took me live. I wanted to schedule this for like an hour, hour and a half from now, but hey, we're here. So unfortunately, that means gonna have to wait just a little bit. It won't even let me edit the time. I don't know why. Yeah, I wonder why it's not letting me do the time on here. Never had problems with StreamYard before, but I'm telling you what. Okay. All right. Hey, Amanda, are you here? Hi. Hi, Banner J. How are you doing? I've got some big information tonight. Not only is it going to be on the desperate plea from a mother versus these tragedy pimps, but I'm actually going to show some receipts. Kind of sick of these people lying, and it's time, it's time to call them out. So I have got a bunch of stuff to show you guys, and I also have the actual court papers on the Quinton Simon case that will show that Billie Jo Simon / Betterton has not been telling the truth about the status of her custody, if you will, of little Quinton. This whole time, her and Cher have been stating that she had guardianship of Quinton, correct? We've all heard that many times if you followed that case. Cher did several lives. She's done many lives. Like, they just hang out like buddies now. Quinton doesn't really matter. They're just buddies. So, but from day one, I've wondered, was it actually guardianship or was it something else? Because it did matter as far as, and if you know anything about me, details really matter. But for this case, I wanted to know if she actually had the right or not to decide if she was going to leave Quinton alone with anybody. And it turns out that even though she has said many times that she had legal guardianship of Quinton and the right, she said it was up to her whether or not she left Quinton alone with Leilani, but she actually didn't have that right. So I'm going to bring up the court documents to show the truth on that, and my emails with Cher regarding the topic. And I will show that she was lying. I don't know why Cher would lie. She said that she saw the documents that show that Billie Jo had guardianship, legal guardianship. And that's just not possible because she didn't. And I have the court documents. So I'm going to show everybody. I don't think I've looked around and I don't see the actual court documents shared anywhere. So if anybody knows if they have been shared, they've been quoted, but they haven't been shared. And what was awfully convenient about that is if you don't have an actual document to look at, then you can lie about it, right? Well, let's just put up those documents and I will show you guys. But first, I want to show you something that I came across earlier today. It really, really bothered me. And the mother does want this out there. I'm going to play this video. Bring that right here. Okay. I'm going to bring this one up first. Bear with me. I got a second monitor hooked up and I do love it. It's just weird dragging things from one desktop to another. You know how that goes. Okay. Oh, that's so cool. I can share screen 1 or screen 2. I like that. Okay, I'm going to share this. Here we go. So I'm going to upload this later. Bear with me. I'm just waiting for it to show up on screen. Yeah, I want to share the other screen. Hang on. That screen too. Bear with me. That's my other monitor. I want this one. Okay, there we go. I'm getting the hang of this. It's still doing the wrong one. Hold on. Lord have mercy. Okay. Present, share screen. Let me do two. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Now the video. It's right here. I'm going to start this over. Sorry. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the beginning of this video. We don't need sound for this part. All right, so I'm just going to read this to you guys. I'm going to be pulling up these documents full size for you, and these, I don't find these anywhere else. This is pretty crazy what's on these documents. Apparently, Billie Jo has been lying this whole time, and Cher was either lied to by Billie Jo, which I doubt. I think she probably knows about this, or she's lying right along with her. Either way, it's still wrong. So Billie Jo claims that she had legal guardianship of little Quinton. Cher, who is Voices Behind the Wall, stated that she had seen proof herself. You know, she's been backing her up all along. Billie Jo claimed that it is up to her whether or not Leilani could or should be left alone with Quinton. These documents that I will pull up for you full size so you can read them very well prove that Billie Jo lied, that she only had temporary CPS kinship placement. They prove that she knew she shouldn't have left baby Quinton alone with Leilani, as well as shows the fact that there was a CPS open case and she was in fact very aware of it and the rules of CPS placement. Now, this is important because she denied knowing anything about the CPS case. You guys remember that, right? I could dig through Cher's lives and find real quick where she stated that on more than one occasion. I had no idea there was a CPS involvement going on. I didn't know until Quinton came up missing. She said that, right? Does anybody remember her saying that? She said it several times in her lives. She did not know that CPS was involved. She didn't know until the baby came up missing. And she said over and over and over, it was up to her whether or not she could leave Quinton with anybody, especially Leilani. Not true. Let me go a little further here. These records that I'm about to show you are very damning. So why is Cher? Why is Cher? I know I did this fast because I plan to pause it anyway. Why is Cher lying about all of this too and covering up for Billie Jo and Leilani? Who's playing who? Is Cher playing them? Are they playing Cher? Is everybody playing everybody? I do know that I had those conversations with the other person, Bullhorn Betty, who told me in no uncertain terms. She wasn't guessing. She wasn't assuming. It was very important secret knowledge that she had an arrangement with Cher. Her and Dolly have an arrangement with Cher to come out and expose all of this information on Billie Jo and Leilani. They're planning to flip on them. Well, that's just disgusting, getting involved in a case like that anyway, but it's really disgusting when you lie to your subscribers and your paid members. So who was that has a recording of Bullhorn Betty admitting that they're exploiting this case for personal gain and lying to their subscribers about the real deal? Oh yeah, that's me. I do have another video you can pull up that shows the entire phone calls if anybody's wondering. You can listen to them. She's not. Hi, Tracy. You can go back and look. I have, let's see. Billie. Okay, so Tracy says Cher has always been a liar. True. Billie Jo will be going to jail right along with Leilani. Yep, I agree with you. Totally agree with you. Like I said, she will be going down with her daughter. She was responsible for the children. She left them with her mom, knowing she wasn't supposed to do that. Cher's working on her own, honestly. Have you had a chance to listen to the live that I had where I played all phone calls, Tracy? She's actually secretly friends with Bullhorn Betty, and they Bullhorn told me when we were friends about their plan. And now Cher played it off. She said, "Oh, I was just playing Betty. I was just playing Betty." Right? I remember her saying that. That's not true. But go back and compare what each one of them say in response. And when I asked, Bullhorn, can I tell Cher what's going on? Because I had an arrangement that I was working on with Cher to speak with Billie Jo because of our similar situations regarding guardianship. However, I wanted to know if she actually had guardianship. So I had to do digging on my own, y'all. And I found the documents. So what is going on? So almost 2 months later, nobody knows where Quinton is, and those responsible for his safety and his life lost have not been arrested. Here are the documents. I'll pull them up separately from the actual files here in just a minute where we can read through them. So I know that you can't read them how they are here. It's really tricky, but I will pull them up. This is from October 14th when the other two children were removed. Yes, I'm going to read the documents. I can't even read them from this screen, so don't worry about it. I'm just going to go through the video and then I'll pull up the documents and make them really big on the screen so everybody can see This is, yeah, wait till you read all this with me. I'll pull it in just a minute. This is the day that they removed the other 2 children. They did that on the 12th of October, but this was file stamped on the 14th. So, Cher, whose fault is it that we still don't know where Quinton is? Just like with the Summer Wells case. This case is going to end up just like that. All right, so let me pull up my other one here. Oh, lovely. We get an advertisement. Okay. So earlier today, I'm going to shift gears to show you the difference between these people. Okay. This happened today. This is Brandy Neal, mother of Michael Vaughn. And he's the little boy that they've been looking for. Very sad case. His mom came out today and made this statement.
Just me talking right now. To the old.
Oh, hang on. This is the actual live link.
Be so much strength, baby girl. You've got it.
This was on Purple Phoenix. I did a clip of it. Hang on. Much easier. I just do the clip.
We love.
Here we go.
Hey guys.
Hi, Brandy.
Hi, babe. I look like shit in hell. Sorry.
You look like beautifulness. Yeah, to be honest.
You know, we talk about lurkers, right? Lurkers in the back and everything like that. Imagine them outside of your house every minute and a half. I need a favor.
Yes.
Some of these YouTubers that are contacting potential suspects.
What?
Oh my fucking God. I'm sorry.
I missed what was said.
I need to get my bleeper handy, don't I?
Stop.
Sorry about that.
You have no right. This is my son. You have no right. Stop it. You are not law enforcement. And what you're doing is you are hindering Michael's case. Stop it, please. Let them do their jobs. They are doing an amazing job, and they continue to do an amazing job. And the things you're doing and pulling right now is unacceptable, because you know what you're doing? If some of these things that are going on right now are factual, you are hurting anything of justice for my son. Now stop it. Please. You have no right. What you have the rights to is to keep his face out there and to keep hope and to support law enforcement. No, don't be contacting these people, please. You don't know the damage you can do to a case Please.
Heartbreaking.
Just in this, there's been 6 cars that have driven by our home. Just in me talking right now.
That's pretty sad, huh? And she says you can hurt the case by interacting with suspects in a case. And what's Cher doing? She's hanging out with them, helping them, coaching them, literally coaching them live on the air, telling them what to say to the police, what not to say to the police. It's insane. All right, now I'm going to pull up those files, okay? I think the easiest way to magnify them is going to be a weird way. I'm going to pull it up in my editor, which is really good for this sort of thing. Here we go. Well, okay, bear with me just a minute while I get this pulled up here, okay? If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and hit that like button. Help people find me. I wasn't able to give advance notice on this because StreamYard has been acting crazy. So hopefully a couple more people will come in because I really want to show these documents. Let's see here. Okay. Bear with me, please. So my StreamYard is right. Yeah, we can read that one. Okay. Have to keep all your CPU stuff going. All right. Cher should be charged with interfering in a crime. I agree. Brandy and Tyler are real parents of the missing child. The others are child murders. Yeah. Find this thing here. I hate not being able to show my screen, but shows all of my information on my menu. So I have to do it on my other screen and pull it over. So bear with me just a minute. Here it is. All right, I'm going to do it this way. So it'll make sense if I do it this way. It's my video editor. Bring that down. One of them, I use like 4 different video editors. Okay, so page 1. Let's see if I can do it this way. Come on, you. Okay, just let me know when you're able to read it. Is that legible for everybody looking? Bring this up here. There we go. All right, Tracy, can you read that okay? All right, yeah, it's working. Okay. All right, so at the top, you see that it is the amended order transferring temporary legal custody following authorization for removal. This is DHS or CPS taking the children. I'm going to read it from the top to the bottom. I'm not going to read the other kids' names. That information is out there just in case anybody says, oh no, you're showing the kids' names. They're already out there. They're in many news articles. So, hey girl. All right, I'm going to take this one down. Okay. Okay, so it's in the interest of the children. Just put it that way. It's from the Juvenile Court of Chatham County in the state of Georgia. Complaints and an affidavit have been filed in the court indicating that pursuant to OCGA 15-11-133, Section A, subsection 2, law enforcement removed the above referenced children from their home on October 12, 2022 at approximately 6:30 p.m. And an officer of this court authorized the removal of the children from the home and the placement of the children in foster care because the children were in imminent danger of abuse or neglect if they remained in the home. Think about that for just a minute. They were in danger, imminent danger of abuse or neglect if they remained in that home. That's about as big as I can make this as well. Hang on, let me try something else too here. There we go. It's even bigger now. Exactly. For sure, I totally agree. Removal of the children from the custodian was and remains necessary to safeguard the children's welfare. Continuation of the children in the home and or returning the children to the home would be contrary to the welfare of the children, and removal of the children is in the best interest of the children because a voluntary kinship care agreement with relatives became insufficient to ensure the safety and welfare of the children during a child death investigation. Bam. Cher, Billie Jo, you're liars. You've been telling these people all along that Billie Jo had full legal custody, full legal guardianship, she said. She used the word guardianship. Guardianship is a completely different animal. Completely different. It's like comparing, literally apples and oranges, you know? So, and I know this because I am a guardian of my grandchildren, and I'll bring up my documents to show you what she should have had if she had guardianship. She was challenged on it in a live a couple of times and asked to show the documentation, but she'd always come up with some excuse and leave, or internet down or whatever. She would not show her documents. And I knew my spidey senses were up, y'all. I was like, there's no way she had guardianship. There's just no way. Hello, Mystery Machine. How are you? So she wouldn't answer my question about, is it, and I asked her very specifically, is it CPS placement or is it guardianship? She would not answer the question. But it says right here, removal of the children was necessary in the best interest of the children because a voluntary kinship care agreement. That means CS placement. Some places call it CPS. I don't know, Claudia. Let's say you're wrong, but the kids were aunt. Which aunt? Do you have any more information on that? And what do you mean the first couple of days? Which couple of days? Do you mean the days after Quinton went missing? I think they did go somewhere for a day or two, but then the day they were, coming back, I think that's the day that they were taken. Like, no, we can't let them go back there. But the aunt couldn't keep them for whatever reason, whether she couldn't do it financially or couldn't do it emotionally, or if there was an issue with her in general that made it where she wasn't eligible. We don't know. I don't know. No idea. But I do know that they were scheduled to go back. They were supposed to go back into the Simon home, and CPS stopped that. And I'm very glad, because it says in this documentation, if you've got it on full screen, you should be able to see it. Hang on, let me do it this way. Either way, it's not quite big enough, is it? Wish I could make it bigger. I'd have to dig it out of my files and pull it up another way, but this is fine. Okay, so I'm going to continue reading. Again, I'm going to pick up right about here. I'm on paragraph 2. It's in the best interest of the children because a voluntary kinship care agreement with relatives had become insufficient to ensure the safety and welfare of the children during a child death investigation. The children's sibling, Quinton Simon, was reported missing on October 5th, 2022. Based upon information obtained in the course of its missing child investigation, on October 12th, law enforcement notified DFCS and the family that it was proceeding with a child death investigation. So, in other words, that's the day that they figured out that he was, that's the day they did the press conference to say that they're looking for remains at that point. And they had reason to believe that he was, in the landfill, and that Leilani was there prime and only suspect. And yes, they did use the words prime and only. There are no other suspects in the case. None. Let's see if I can pull this out a little more here. Looky there. There we go. That's better. Yes, Danny left and left the baby with her, which is weird, but not going to speculate. But then from there, I believe that the oldest child and the baby, they weren't there at the Quinton home. I do know that because I remember they were coming back on the 14th, but then that was stopped by CPS, and CPS picked them up. So yeah, when Danny left, he left the baby. Don't know why he did that. Okay, so I made this a little bigger. The children and the sibling were living in a home with the mother, the Youngkin father, Danny Youngkin, and the maternal grandmother prior to the siblings' disappearance. I was kind of think it's funny that they left out Paul. There's no mention of Paul in this. But he lived there. And the step-grandfather lived there as well. This document just mentions these people, unless I'm forgetting and they adds them on later. Okay. The mother is the primary suspect or subject of the death investigation, and other household members as well as relatives continue to be investigated for protective capacity. Protective capacity means that they're trying to find somebody in the home or in the immediate family who might be able to take in the children. So you have to go through a lot of, background checks and such to determine if you are eligible. So that's what that means, protective capacity. The mother is a chronic never can say this word. I can say a lot of words other people can't say, but this one gets me every time. Unrehabilitated substance abuser of cocaine and cannabis. She screened positive for and admitted use of cocaine and THC at the birth of the child, the baby, the little girl. She has continued to screen positive for cocaine. Everybody hear that? Even though she in the middle of a CPS investigation and CPS was about to take her children, she continued to screen positive for cocaine. The mother has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and anxiety disorder for which she has not been receiving ongoing mental health treatment. Bad combination, very bad combination, y'all. If you need help, get help. There's no shame in it whatsoever. Go to your appointments. Take care of yourself. Take your medication. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? When I had my little ones, I slept when they slept. Some moms clean when their babies are sleeping, not me. Crawled up right next to them, so went to sleep too. That's how you get through those early years, Sleep when that baby's sleeping. Okay. I didn't care about my house too much when they were little. All right, I'll continue reading. The maternal grandmother, that's Billie Jo. Now, it says something here that's a little contradictory, and then they clear it up, okay? So bear with me. When I get to page 2, you'll be like, oh, okay. It says here, the maternal grandmother has a permanent guardianship order as to the child. That's the older child, pursuant to documents from the juvenile court of Burke County. However, bear with me on that, because I was like, oh, okay, so she did. But I'll continue reading. The maternal grandmother failed to provide adequate supervision for the child by leaving the child in the home in the care of the mother, a person who the maternal grandmother knew or should have known was unfit to provide proper care, while the maternal grandmother, Billie Jo, traveled out of state. I know most places, Claudia, will overlook a lot, way too much. I went through the same thing with my grandchildren, and that's why I have full legal guardianship. Kinship placement. CPS is not involved with my family. They're my babies. Literally my babies. So, no, this what happened with Quinton would never happen under my watch. Ever. All right, so I'll keep reading. The Georgia Department of Human Services, through the Chatham County Department of Family and Children's Services, made reasonable efforts to prevent the removal of the children from the home and to make it possible for the children to return. Okay, hold on. I've got to make the other one bigger now. So it'll take me a second. Whee! All right. Well, hold on. Scooch that over here. For Pete's sake. There we go. All right. Why is it doing this? It doesn't want me to grab that with this in the way. Alrighty. We'll do it your way. All right, so here you can see where it says, and that followed from the last sentence. I'll read that again now that I have it where I can switch easily. The Georgia Department of Human Services, through the Chatham County Department of Family and Children's Services, made reasonable efforts to prevent the removal of the children from the home and to make it possible for the children to return home, including consulting with law enforcement, utilizing a voluntary kinship care agreement during the missing child investigation, attempting to verify the maternal grandmother's claim to permanent guardianship of the child and the sibling Quinton, confirming with the Cherokee Nation that the children do not qualify as Indian children pursuant. Hold on, I'm going to turn off my ringer there. Sorry. The children do not qualify as Indian children pursuant to the Indian Child Welfare Act. Reviewing Child Protective Services history from other counties, as well as an ongoing Family Preservation Services case, previously providing the mother with substance abuse rehabilitation treatment following in utero drug exposure of the older brother, providing an updated substance abuse assessment and rehabilitation treatment, rehab, following in utero drug exposure of the child, the baby girl, and requesting drug screening of the mother. And again, she continued, despite all of this, continued to use weed and cocaine. So it is therefore ordered pursuant to OCGA Statute 15-11-135, Section A, that to protect the children, temporary legal custody of the above-referenced children be transferred to the Georgia Department of Human Services through the Chatham County Department of Family and Children's Services, pending further order of the court. And then they went back on the 17th. I'm just telling you by memory. They'd gone, because it says there's the preliminary protective hearing was on the 17th, and the family was not successful there. But you can see up here at the top, I want to point out again, they attempted to verify that Billie Jo had permanentship of the older brother and Quinton, but they weren't able to do that because it doesn't exist. Maternal grandmother's claim to permanent guardianship. She lied. They busted her on it. Do people really think that they can lie to law enforcement HS? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. I want to make these a little smaller on my screen so I don't lose them. Hold on. Yeah, mind you. All right. So again, these are official documents, and they can't say that these don't exist. Screenshot away and go ask Cher and Billie Jo why they lied. Go ask them. They will have no answers for you. But yeah, they did lie. So now, I tried to confront Cher with this information, but I was wanting to do it in kind of a sly way that would not cause drama, but still get information out there, And I think they knew. I think she pretty much could tell that I am one for details and I can find information. So she wouldn't answer the questions for me, which is kind of funny. Like, really? I mean, I'm going to find out. You might as well tell me. So here is what that one. I'm going to show you what actual guardianship papers look like. So therefore what they should have had, But the grandmother does not have this. Having my second monitor hooked up is so weird, y'all. So bear with me. Okay. I'm in the state of Oklahoma. But every state's going to have virtually the same order. So if you have guardianship, that's what it's going to look like. And you have to take an oath. With CPS, it's even stricter. That's how I know she did not have any kind of guardianship. And then as you can see here, the parents are always given a long list of things that they must accomplish before they can think about getting the kids back. Yes, absolutely. Claudia says, I read where it said they should have known Leilani wasn't fit. Nothing prevented her from being around the kids. She could be around the kids, but this is as far as I could get as far as paperwork. But think about that. she knew. I did some notes on this. Hang on just a minute. She knew that, I mean, this is the person that she took custody from, right? She knew that she was not fit. She knew that she was not safe. She knew that she was doing drugs. She knew that she was testing positive for drugs. And what did she do? She left the babies with her anyway. And with CPS placement, you have to agree to not do that. I have been, in the past, I was a part of the safety plan. And it's kind of like this. With CPS placement, it's even stricter. You can't even, like if you have CPS placement of a child, you can't even go get their hair cut without permission. You can't do anything. You can't get their ears pierced. You can't get their hair cut. You can't keep them out of school. They're not your kids, basically. When you have CPS placement, they belong to the state. They're in state legal custody, not yours when you have kinship placement. So she literally had no right under the law and under the agreement under CPS. She did not have the right. So, and I don't know what the rules were in place as far as her even seeing the children. In my case, as you can see from my document, and what? Just a second to set it up. So when you have guardianship, it looks more like that. And the guardians always make the rules on who gets to be around the kids. As you can see right here, it says supervised by guardians until further order. That was in my case. The judge makes that determination based on all of the evidence, you know. But in a CPS case, it's automatic. They have taken custody of the children because they've deemed the home unfit. And that was the home of Leilani at her other address. So what does Leilani do? She just moves in. That's a way to skirt CPS. It's a loophole, so to speak. Like, I don't really have custody, but I'm going to live here and do everything as if this CPS thing doesn't exist. And remember, BJ, Billie Jo, did say on several occasions, and Cher backed her up on it and said that she did not have CPS placement, that she had actual guardianship. But that's just not true, as we can see from the documents here. She did not have guardianship. She only had CPS placement. And that's just such a big difference. She also claimed that she could decide, you know, whether or not to leave the kids with Leilani. They wouldn't do that. CPS would not do that. I know because I've been involved with them, with my own grandchildren. When you do a CPS safety plan, those parents are not going to be coming around. It's going to be supervised. It is absolutely, I promise you, going to be supervised. Now, bear with me just a second. I'm going to keep that open. Got chat kind of popped up over here. It's kind of weird. Okay. So in Michael Vaughn's case, for example, she doesn't want YouTubers involved. She wants law enforcement to do their job. And when YouTubers get involved, like Cher has, especially how deeply embedded she's gotten in the case, it's worse than what she did with the Summer Wells case. And I don't know if you're familiar with what she did or not, but if you're not, very, very briefly, you can look this up or come to me later and I'll send you more information. She embedded herself in deep when that little girl, Summer Wells, went missing. She pretended to be friends with the parents. And then later, she flipped on them and she started revealing all their conversations. But in doing so, she hindered the investigation. And we still don't know where Summer Wells is. And there have been no arrests in the Summer Wells case. Because Cher's nosy self was in the middle of that one too. Now look, we're doing the same thing again, aren't we? Where's Quinton? Nobody knows. No arrests have been made. Who's been hanging out with and calling the prime suspect, the only suspect, calling Leilani, hey pretty, hey pretty, hey pretty. Would you ever say that to somebody in that situation? It's just disgusting. Disgusting. Okay, let me where. There they are. Okay, I was looking for my other tabs. All these windows and tabs. It's not have another monitor hooked up, but man, you'll get lost. Okay. Okay, not those. Here we are. So just in case anybody has just come in, I'm going to quickly play this one again. It's a minute long. So again, Billie Jo has been claiming that she has legal guardianship of little Quinton. And Cher stated that she had seen proof herself. But that's not true because I just showed you the documentation. Billie Jo claimed that it was up to her whether or not Leilani could or should be left alone with Quinton. Not true. These documents prove that Billie Jo lied, that she only had CPS kinship placement, and also that she knew she shouldn't have left baby Quinton alone with Leilani, as well as shows the fact that there in fact was a CPS case open, and she was very aware of it and the rules of CPS placement. Nobody knows where Quinton is, and those responsible for his safety and the loss of his life are partying. Whose fault is it that we still don't know where Quinton is? I'm looking at you, Cher. And then over here, we have this other mama that's crying and begging for YouTubers to leave them alone, stop following them, stop trying to insert themselves in the case of Michael Vaughn. His mama said, stop, and nobody will stop. They're stalking her. Absolutely stalking this poor mother. This was on Purple Phoenix earlier. The mom came
Hey
up
guys.
to say, hey,
Hi, Brandy.
you YouTubers need to stop.
I look.
Now, granted, just to be clear, this mother in this case was hooked up with Purple and everything was okay for her. She's not saying that to this person, just so we know.
Like shit. No, sorry.
You look like beautifulness. Yeah, to be honest.
You know, we talk about lurkers, right? Lurkers in the back and everything like that. Imagine them outside of your house every minute and a half. I need a favor.
Yes.
Some of these YouTubers that are contacting potential suspects.
What?
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
I missed what was said.
I just had to skip past the language, y'all. Sorry.
Stop. You have no right. This is my son. You have no right. Stop it. You are not law enforcement. And what you're doing is you are hindering Michael's case. Stop it, please. Let them do their jobs. They are doing an amazing job and they continue to do an amazing job. And the things you're doing and pulling right now is unacceptable because you know what you're doing? If some of these things that are going on right now are factual, you are hurting anything of justice for my son. Now stop it. Please. You have no right. What you have the rights to is to keep his face out there and to keep hope and to support law enforcement. No, don't be contacting these people, please. You don't know the damage you can do to a case. Please.
Yeah. That's pretty heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. I resized the window because there's little Michael's face right here and I didn't feel comfortable covering that up. What a shame. What a shame. So nobody's, let's see here. Got a little more. That was mine. Move that way over here. Okay. All right, guys. So I just wanted to put this, information out there. I think it's real important that people understand the difference between what she claims she had, what she really had, and that is she only had CPS placement, not guardianship. And I wish that some of y'all would go ask her. I don't talk to Cher. After the way she booted me off her panel when I started asking about the guardianship, I know she's not going to answer my questions. So, because she knows I know what's up. So, you take them, screenshot them. If you need the full files, email me. I'll send them to you. She's lying. Cher's helping this family, helping the suspect in this beautiful baby's death. They don't even know where he's at. And that's got to stop. Cher's got to stop getting her nose in these cases because they're all going to end up like Summer Wells. And I'm really glad that Michael Vaughn's mother stood up and said, you guys need to stop. We're here as a crime community to talk about true crime, to talk about it, not to get that personally involved, not to go hunt down suspects, not to go harass the family members in person, showing up at their house, driving past their house. Bunch of news. It's ridiculous. You'd think that none of these people had any kind of tragedy in their life where they had an ounce of respect for anybody who's going through hell. I mean, we know that Leilani and Billie Jo have been out drinking and partying. They're good. They're fine, right? But Brandy Neal is not having it. She says, stay away. And that is the voice of a normal and loving and heartbroken mother. Not like Leilani, who's out drinking and having a good old time with BJ at that restaurant and bar, asking for numbers of that waiter. If I can get this any bigger on the screen. Nope, I can't. YouTubers need to stop. Just stop getting that involved in a case. We're here to report, and that's it. So if you don't want to listen to me, at least listen to Michael Vaughn's mother today. She said it better than anybody else can. Keep your nose out of these families' real lives. And with that, I am going to end this for this evening. Please hit the like button for me on my live. I would really appreciate it. And I like to keep these nice and brief. Just put out my information and go. No big deal for me on having a bunch of people in here. Just I want the information passed around because it needs to be known the truth about that family. They know more than they're saying, and Cher is helping them cover it up. You should never be coaching a murder suspect on what to say to the police and to keep your mouth shut or to say this or to say that. Who does she think she is? I've had my link up at the top of my chat this whole time. Have you seen Cher come in here? Nope, I got her tagged. She knows I'm sitting here saying this. She's probably watching and too afraid to come up. That's too bad. I told her I was going to find the information and I was going to post the information. Here it is. Billie Jo and Cher are both lying and playing everybody's like a fool. So I hope that you will take these documents and ask them yourself. This is proof that they knew. You guys have a good evening. I will be back another time. Thanks for coming tonight. And later on the replays. I like my replay people. Feel free to leave comments and questions. Have a good night.